Every good pie starts with a good crust, so let me show you how easy it is to make one right at home. I am kicking off my Thanksgiving/holiday series, and what better way to start than with the pie crust? And by the way, if you're new here, hi, my name is Aya. I share smart kitchen tips and recipes that make life easier, especially around the holidays. If that sounds like your vibe, stick around, and now let's get into it. First thing, your butter need to be cold, like really cold. So make sure that's the last thing you pull out of the fridge, and this crust only needs a handful of ingredients. In a medium bowl, I'm adding 2 cups and 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. That's about 300 grams, plus 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt. Then I just give it a quick whisk. Next comes the butter. I've got 2 sticks or 225 grams unsalted butter that I already cut into cubes. I'm using all butter here, no shortening, and today I am making this dough by hand because honestly, it gives the best texture. So first, I toss the butter cubes into the flour so they're fully coated. This keeps them from melting too quickly as we're using our hand. Then I just squish each cube between my fingertips, tossing it back into the flour as I go. I keep doing this until the butter pieces are about the size of a piece or a little bigger, and that's what will give it the flakiness. Once the butter is ready, I make a well in the center and start adding ice water. The amount can vary depending on the flour, so I start small, about 2 to 3 tablespoons. I also add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. Then I gently toss it in. The goal here isn't to knead it. Just hydrate the flour without over-mixing, or the crust will turn out tough. Here is how I know it's right. When I squeeze the dough in my hand, it holds its shape. If I see dry flour, I just add water, like 1 tablespoon at a time, only where it's needed, because this dough should come together, but not sticky, not too smooth, just crumbly enough to press together. Now I dump it out into some plastic wrap. At first, it looked messy, I know, but once you press it in together, it turns into a dough. I press it into a disc, wrap it tightly, then chill in the fridge for at least 1 hour. You can also make it days or even weeks in advance and freeze it. Perfect for planning ahead for Thanksgiving, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Once it's chilled, I let it rest on the countertop for 5 minutes, then it's time to roll. I dust the counter generously with flour. You don't want sticking. You can also use pastry mat or parchment paper, but still add the flour, please. Then I roll from the center out, turning the dough as I go. If cracks forms, it's fine, no big deal. Just pinch them back together. I'm aiming for about 1/8 of an inch thick. To check the size, I flip the pie plate upside down on top of the dough. And if the dough extends about 1.5 inches around, it's good. I roll the dough up onto my rolling pin, then gently enroll it over the pie dish. Now I press it in without stretching. Be careful, stretching makes it shrink in the oven. I trim the excess with a scissor, but still leave a little bit extra. I fold that under and crimp the edges by pressing with my finger to give it that classic look. Then what I do, I use my left hand to make like V shape with my thumb and pointer finger, and then I use the pointer finger of my right hand to press toward it. I mean, it doesn't really have to be perfectly perfect, but when they look all alike, it gives you a better looking pie once it's baked. Then I poke the bottom and sides with a fork so it doesn't puff up while baking. For blind baking, I crumble up a piece of parchment paper so it fits in nicely. Then fill it with rice. You can also use beans or lentil. This goes into the fridge for 30 minutes while I preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I also pop a baking sheet on the oven. This will help the crust bake evenly. After 30 minutes, it's straight into the hot oven for 20 minutes. Once the crust sets nicely, I remove the parchment paper and wait. To keep it from getting soggy with filling, I brush the whole surface with egg white. Then I lower the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Cover the edges with foil to keep them from burning and bake another 15 to 20 minutes until golden. And there it is, a perfect flaky pie crust. I'll be using this one in my next video to make a pumpkin pie, so make sure to stick around for that and hit the notification bell to know when it's posted. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.